Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about adversity and how you deal with it. And I'm going to be sharing 5 personal tales of adverse situations that I've been in, how I've dealt with them and what I've learned from them. So, story number 1 would essentially be to do with my father and my decision to distance myself from him. I took a stand really to improve as a person and to support my mother and sister. I realised my parents were not perfect, and you have this construction of them when you're younger that they are these perfect individuals, role models, idols. And I realised that wasn't the case. I also realised that just because they're family and obviously blood related to you does not mean that you owe them anything or that you always have to stick with them. And if something's important enough to you that you feel like you need to make a stand on it, and you're noticing, for example, by having that relationship with that person, that it's making you behave in certain ways or giving you traits that you don't like, then there's nothing wrong with taking a decision to get some space and distance yourself from them. So that would be my tale number 1 and lessons number 1. Tale number 2, well, essentially I have an eye condition known as keratoconus, and the first situation I was in was essentially while I was at secondary school. Starting going back even earlier, primary school, I was labelled as special needs because my reading age was very low, and that's because I couldn't read properly. And I was given glasses, but glasses didn't work because it's an eye condition where your cornea is distorted, so essentially you need an operation or specialist lenses. And I realised from this experience that there are lots of people out there that may be labelled special needs, or that you might look down on, think are less intelligent, but they might not have just been dealt the same pack of cards as you, not as been as fortunate biologically. And I also learned that once I had my eyesight back and I could see, that it doesn't matter how far behind you are, if you're sufficiently determined to catch up, then you can tell all the haters to fuck off and you can achieve whatever you want, essentially. And that's what happened. I remember in year 10, it was when it was first properly being a problem, and I did okay in my GCSEs, but not that well. And then it got diagnosed, and I ended up doing a lot better than I was doing in year 10, and I ended up getting A's, and then it was properly resolved with contact lenses in my first year of A-levels. I went from B's and C's to 3 A-star predictions in 1 year. Yes, I worked very hard, but I could actually see, so it made a big difference, and I was able to catch up. So the lesson I learned there was that if you're determined enough, it doesn't matter how big the gap is, you will catch up. The only person limiting your potential in that context is yourself, and it's very easy to talk yourself out of things and say you're not capable, but you are. Tale number 3 was being rejected from sort of my dream or planned job offer because of a HR cock-up, basically, and then being rejected by a dozen different equity research companies that I applied for jobs with. I learned that the world is a big place, and that tiny factors like the competence of a HR department can have a very outsized impact on your own future and career journey, and that this is the case for a lot of people. It's not something you need to beat yourself up about in the time. It's going to suck, but actually it opened other doors for me because it made me determined to get a better job, or a job that I perceived to be better. On reflection, it wasn't. And all those rejections from equity research companies, because I was applying late, because the grad schemes were over, made me more determined to get the job, and there wasn't an opening, late cycle one at Jefferies, which I was successful getting. And I ended up actually then, within less than a year, getting a job at Morgan Stanley at the next level up, 3 months earlier than I would have done. And at a top research firm. I didn't like the hours at the end, and we've got another video on why I quit equity research, but I had that experience in the private sector and really built a lot of very valuable skills and resilience I wouldn't have had without the original rejection, and I've gone back to the bank now in a role that I really like. So, your career is long, it's vast, one factor, HR incompetence, isn't going to rule it all, and it's easy to get obsessed in the moment about things and to feel like you have one path, but you've got multiple paths, and it's okay to be squiggly. Tale number 4 would be, the first situation would be my sister having a brain tumour and the uncertainty around that. This has happened in the last few weeks. I learned from the experience that health is wealth. I know that's cringe, and the most important thing is the health of your family, and the well-being of your family. My mum was right in this regard, and everything else is of secondary importance at the end of the day, including how much you're paid, your career, and other goals and hobbies. The most important thing is your health and the health of your family. And in this situation, the only thing you can do is be supportive, tell them that you're there for them, tell them that you'll be there for them no matter what the outcome is, and there aren't any magic cures. You can't say it will all be okay because you don't know, but you can be there for them and you can support them. At the end of the day, the uncertainty is crippling, and it can't be pushed away, no matter how low the odds are of it being deadly, cancerous in this situation. You've just got to stay calm and be supportive. So that would be tale number 4, what I learned from it. Tale 5 would be COVID, and it's a common tale for all of us, the aggravation of having to live again with your parents, feeling like you've stepped backwards, feeling like you're on this path and now you're living with your parents again and it's a step back. Not ideal. Feeling restricted, not being able to do what you'd like to do. For me, I was meant to be doing a master's in the Netherlands, having to spend practically 2/3 of that at home, doing it all online, not meeting people. I learned that, at the end of the day, you can have your autonomy taken away from you, and that can be very difficult, but the most important thing is trying to find the positives in that experience, trying to frame it as an opportunity for you in the long term, and not seeing it as a step backwards, and that's been helpful in my current career decision as well. Because at the end of the day, your brain is focused and wired to focus on the negatives, and unless you make an active effort to change and rewrite your perspective and focus on the positives, you're just gonna get really annoyed and frustrated, which is what happened for a lot of us in COVID. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope none of the stories were too personal. And if you've got anything you'd like to share or any comments, feel free to type them in. I hope you have a great day.